What's shaking, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Prince. And we're back with the final tune on the Black Album, 1987. So once again, major shout out to Stan, who not only sent me this, but sent me a mix of some other tunes. I did mention in a previous reaction, and just to reiterate here, the next step in the Prince journey, we're going to go through a compilation provided by a friend of the channel, Chris, which he's labeled 80s Prince, so it's more material from the 80s, but I assume maybe some bits from both before and after this. Either way, I'm looking forward to more 80s Prince. After that, we're then going to go through the Purple Rain album I have, which again, I pulled that out of a vinyl collection where I wasn't even sure that I had that, and went looking, and sure enough, there it was. So we'll go through that, and then we're going to jump back to Stan's selected tunes compilation. So that's the next 3 steps of the Prince journey. So shout out to both Chris and Stan, as well as all the people who've been commenting on the Prince reactions. And fair to say, by the time I got about halfway through the album, it did seem the number of people, chiming in was growing. So obviously there's more people keen to talk about Prince's music, and as I mentioned before, with the exception of 2 or 3 like real hit tunes, When Doves Cry, 1999, and to a lesser extent, Little Red Corvette, I really don't know his catalog. So this album has been quite eye-opening, more of a jam feel than I might have ever expected. A bit more sauce and sass than I might have thought. Again, I knew he had this like really charismatic persona, both vocally and visually, but I didn't quite know that his lyrics were as like sharp and insightful and even withering and so on, as we heard across the course of the album, which again, I realized this is a very unique album in the sense that it didn't actually come out when it was completed. So yeah, it's been a really cool opening journey. So one more time, shout out to Stan for kicking off the ball when it comes to the Prince journey. And the last track on the album is called Rockhard in a Funky Place. All I'm going to say is it sounds like a double entendre. Obviously, you could conceive of meanings for both parts of the phrase that are non-sexual and innocuous, and yet my brain immediately takes both of them to be part of a sexual metaphor. So let's find out if I'm right. This is Prince. The tune is Rockhard in a Funky Place, and it's the final tune on the 1987 Black Album.
Does anybody know you're here? This house will be ill.
He can really do a lot of different voices too. That's another thing I've learned.
I guess this is what you get for being cute. Soaked in banana cologne. No wonder you're all alone. It's written all over your face. You're just a rock hard in a funky place.
I thought we might hear Disgrace along the way. There it was. This brass, it's got the thunder.
You was working on a line, you could drop on her. But you couldn't concentrate when your lips saw her.
I'm not sure I heard that right.
Maybe you could think about playing guitar.
Talk about playing guitar. And someone is playing it. Holy smokes. Now I'm assuming that's Prince himself. If I'm wrong, let me know. like with the brass there, it's kind of this jazz funk feel. I do love that one.
I just hate to see an erection go to waste. I'm just a Rockhard.
Like organ keys.
Rockhard in a funky place. Say it. Rockhard in a funky place. Rockhard in a funky place. Oh, you rockhard in a funky place. You rockhard in a funky place. Say it, Joe. Rock, rock, what? Rock, 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 rock. We gotta go, y'all. Rock, rock. Tune in next week. Rock. Same time.
Same Prince channel. It's like, and that's a perfect example. I was already gonna make this point. Like, we rock out to the end, keep figuring out the trigger, like you cheeky bastard. Incredible. Cause seriously, I was gonna say, it feels like not only are his tunes, at least on this album, seemingly very improvisational in terms of the, you know, jam feeling, different instruments, different percussive bits coming in, coming out, like different vocal idioms coming and going, but it's like, it feels like an improv, like real life conversation. Like he's just coming up with random lines, like spoken, not only just, you know, throwing it out there, but then saying it to someone else and like someone else answering. It just feels like it's improvisational, or at least, you know, it has that feel to it in both the sonics and the vocals, by which I mean both the singing and the spoken word vocals. So it just felt like this whole album was like, we're in a studio and we're just going to see where we go with this, both, you know, musically, lyrically, whatever. So again, I realized there was probably a lot more detailed crafting than that, but it did have this feel of open-ended, let's see where Prince's mind goes with each one of these tunes. And, you know, by the time we got here to the end, you know, I begin to get a sense for that. Now, I don't know how much that is unique to this album, because again, like When Doves Cry doesn't really have that feel. Like that has a, like, it's a crisp tune. The verses sound great. The chorus is brilliant. Like it's a tight tune. So this felt more like the whole album felt much more open and, you know, let's explore the space. So I do wonder, as I'm on the precipice of going through more of a, you know, larger period of time of his work, you know, how anomalous or somewhat reflective or representative this is. So I'll stop talking, but once again, shout out to Stan, shout out to Chris. Do let me know what you think of this one, and I will see you next time. Peace.